Peace, love, and about our hair grease, y'all. What is good? Shout out to Gemini, returning once again for another amazing video. Okay, so I wanted to do this topic because I feel like it's really important, and I've been reading this book lately that was recommended by Panic, and it really inspired me to do this video, and it kind of really helped me to really understand really sex, religion, and magic a lot more. Okay, so the book that I'm talking about is called Taboo, Sex, Religion, and Magic by Robert Anton Wilson. Okay, this book was recommended by Brother Panic, and it was absolutely worth all of the money that I spent. It wasn't that much. I believe I paid less than $20 for it on Amazon, so go get it, go check it out, and I'll probably leave the link below so y'all can get this so y'all can get the book. Okay, so this book really has an analysis on let me see, the author is really, he's very sarcastic, he's very cunning in how he communicates his message, but it's just basically analyzing why religion takes sex out the equation when every day, you know, somebody's having sex, when every day, you know, somebody is being intimate. Okay, the reason why you're here is because somebody had to have sex to get you here. Okay, but yet religion finds this very taboo, and finds this very abnormal, and finds this very uncomfortable to talk about. Okay, and he breaks down in this book why, and he kind of like, you know, makes fun of religion a little bit. So I really find it entertaining. Okay, so really I got some notes here, okay, because you know I want to stay organized, but really the first question I really wanted to kind of break down is really, like I said, why does sex deem religion so, you know, taboo, or why does religion make sex seems very taboo or very sinister? All right, so first I really just want to do a brief analysis on religion. Okay, if you're on my channel by now, you should understand that religion is obviously a control mechanism. Religion obviously gets you to outsource your power instead of internalizing your power. Before I got into my awakening, I used to listen to a lot of Young Pharaoh, so he kind of helped me understand this, and I kind of started to really analyze religion in a logical standpoint, and he really made some valid points. Okay, so one of the points he used to make was religion stimulates only the right side of the brain. Okay, so the right side of the brain just deals with creativity, imagination. This is dreams, things like that. So this is like your creative side of your brain. Okay, so when you hear stories like Noah's Ark and Jesus walking on water, a lot of people think that shit's real, but they're neglecting their left side of the brain, which allows you to process information logically, thoroughly, and utilize practicality. Okay, so religion is really right brain stimulation, where, you know, you believe in the stories, and you believe some nigga turned wine into water, and you believe that, you know, these two dudes got thrown into the lion's den and they ain't get eat up because, you know, they had God on their side. I'm not saying that's impossible, but I'm just saying it's highly unlikely, especially if lions are hungry. Okay, so a lot of people use their right side of their brain when processing the Bible, when really the Bible is for allegorical symbolism purposes only. All right, and like I say, even, you know, people, even when I was younger, like I said, just some stories just didn't make sense to me. I was always an intellectual child. Why? Because, you know, I was already advanced when I came down here, so me absorbing my environment and going to church every day, I knew something wasn't right. Okay, and as I got older, obviously now I know why, you know, that something isn't right. Okay, so I really like to just touch on Christianity, only because Christianity is the most popularized, that's not a word, it's the most popular religion on the face of the earth right now. So like I said, by now you should know that religion is made to enslave, to conquer, to justify bullshit, and a lot of people, a lot of pastors make money off of this type of practice. Okay, now a lot of pastors obviously don't know about the Council of Nicaea. A lot of pastors obviously don't know about you know, Constantine, and, you know, the things that transpired. So a lot of pastors are really doing this for pure heart, but like I said, they're just missing, you know, the big picture on religion. Okay, so even then you should know that Christianity is a son worshiping religion. Okay, it even tells you in the Bible, if you just gotta break it down. You gotta just be smart, and you gotta just balance that right side of the brain with a little bit of left side, a little bit of logic. Okay, so for example, some verses in the Bible that refer to Jesus being really just the Son. Some worship is Psalms 84:11, which it says, "For the Lord God is a sun, S-U-N, and shield." Okay, you got another one that's Deuteronomy 4:24. For the Lord God is a consuming fire. Okay, what's a consuming fire? Obviously, the sun that's above us is a big ball of fucking fire, a big ball of fucking plasma. Okay, you got Malachi chapter 4 verse 2. Shall the Son of Righteousness arise? Son, as actually spelled once again, S-U-N. Okay, so you have all these allegorical things that should obviously tell you that, you know, it's something bigger going on compared to, you know, it's actually being a man who came down and they could walk on water, do all these miracles and shit, all that shit. You know, you got to understand, Christ is a consciousness. Christ is not an actual person. Christ consciousness is you. Okay, you are here to achieve Christ consciousness. Okay, and like I said, this is the major thing, considering the fact that, you know, we're moving out the age of Pisces. You know, and if you pay attention to Jesus, you see people with the little fish on the back of their car and says Jesus served like what, all these people with 2 fish. That's a representatory story of what we're going through now, the age of, well, what we're leaving now, which is the age of Pisces, going into the age of Aquarius. And even in the Bible does refer to the age of Aquarius when I think Jesus is telling somebody, go to this room and there's a man with a pitcher, he awaits you, or something like that. I forgot the Bible verse on that, but y'all should know what I'm talking about. That's referring to an Aquarius, the age of Aquarius, the time that we're moving into now. Okay, because you already know the symbol for Aquarius is, you know, the water barrier. It's usually a masculine man, has a pitcher of water and he's pouring it. Okay, so basically, like I said, you should really already have these understandings. Okay, and a lot of people are just really oblivious to really what's going on in the world. Okay, a lot of people, they use God and they use the devil to really justify things that occur in their life instead of taking responsibility. Like, I know so many people who blame the devil for, you know, their mishaps, when in reality, you really caused that shit to happen. You know, the devil ain't got nothing to do with your mishaps and your irresponsibility. It's all on you. So I really feel like religion is made as a tool so people won't take accountability for their actions, you know. And like I say, even just a lot of in the black community, like I said, really religion is the #1 thing that is really hindering us, because European settlers already knew that we were very spiritual people. Okay, we have melanin, we're the most connected to God. You can go to a white church, you know what I'm saying, it's cool, but when you go to a black church, we turn it up. You actually feel the spirit, you actually feel the energy that we're conjuring to praise God and to praise Jesus. It's because of the melanin. We're naturally spiritual people by science. Okay, so with them knowing that they use religion to conquer land and to conquer, you know, the minds of people, and I'm gonna get in how they did it. I might make a video on that exactly, but it has a lot to do with kind of taking it has a lot to do with traditionalism in religion. Instead of just using science and incorporating with religion, it's just all traditionalism. Okay, so I'm going to do a breakdown on that hopefully one day when I feel like I'm comfortable articulating that. But that's that. And even then, a lot of people don't even know that, especially a lot of black people, they don't know the history of Christianity. They don't know about the Council of Nicaea. They don't know about Constantine, you know. And I used to do a research on Constantine, and the man was horrible. The man was a homosexual. Okay, he had a wife, and for some reason he killed his wife, or he sentenced his wife to death by boiling. Like, he had his wife boiled alive, and he had his first son murdered. And this was supposed to be the founder or the father of Christianity, but he did all these heinous acts, and the shit that he supposed to be abiding by the Bible, he didn't abide by. So you really have to kind of use your brain and really do research and really see where Christianity came from. And it's really not, you know, it's really not of African ancestry. It might be an African ancestry in regards to, you know, the story with Jesus being Haru and Mary being Aset and things like that. But that's it. Like I said, no, even all that terminology and all that those allegorical figures were just speaking of something higher, which are things in nature that we see every day that we typically want to ignore. Now that that's simply out the way, now we can get to talking about sex. Okay, so why is really sex really just deemed so evil? Like I said, we do it every fucking day, you know, and I was raised in a Christian household, so I was taught, you know, the traditional no sex before marriage and da-da-da-da, and, you know, and obviously I knew that it just wasn't realistic, you know what I'm saying? But of course, I was young, it was forced on me, okay, cool, whatever. But I was really thinking about it, and I really think one of the reasons why sex and religion is really deemed so evil is because first, sex, religion in its own, I'm talking about three main religions, which is Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. They all demonize the woman, okay? So if you look at Christianity, the story of Adam and Eve, when Eve bit the apple, automatically women are evil. Women cause sin unto the world, okay? And if you're really smart, if you study anthropology, you can already tell, and you can already should know that, you know, when you're referring to the Adam and Eve story, if you study genetics too, that the first people on the planet were black. They were African-based people. So you can already assume that the black woman technically is responsible for sin unto the world, okay? That's that. And even Islam make their women cover up. They make their women, you know, cover up from head to toe. They got your pineal gland covered, so just like, you know, what the fuck? Like, how you not even accessing yourself when you got your fucking pineal gland covered and you got your shit covered all the way down to your fucking toenails, you know? And I really came to the conclusion that in a patriarchy, what they like to call it, but in a patrilineal system, which is a system that is masculine based, that has to be necessary to suppress the woman because men are naturally driven by sex, okay? This is biologically proven that when men are in their 20s, all they think about is humping. Now, if you sexually disciplined, and obviously this don't apply to you, okay, cool, don't wear the shoe if it don't fit, okay? But naturally, most men on the planet are driven by sex, okay? So to have a woman being sexually and sensual and to be herself or her natural essence, that is a threat to men that makes men weak, okay? We just gonna keep it real. Pussy run the world. At the end of the day, pussy is ruling the world. Sex rules the world. When somebody's trying to sell something, when somebody's trying to sell a car, they put a sexy woman on it. When you see a fire ass music video, what makes it fire? You got bitches twerking, you got titties, you got ass, you got all that shit. It looks magnificent. It's the women that make the music video, okay? It's the music that make the music video fire and what it is, right? So we can understand that women are very powerful. So religion really suppresses the woman, okay? It really demonizes the woman, that the woman should be holy. She shouldn't be, you know, looking at other men. She shouldn't be sharing herself so freely, which is true, but, you know, freely as in she shouldn't be having sex until she married. Like I said, that's poppycock. Obviously, I'm saying be sexually responsible, be discerning with your energy, and then psychoanalyze your partner before having sex with them. That's obviously what I'm saying. But y'all get the point, okay? I really think religion, too, also shuns sex, is because sex can actually empower you, okay? Sex is actually very empowering experience if done right. I'm not talking about the shit where you just busting a nut and then you go on your separate ways. That's primal shit. We're trying to incorporate this shit with spirituality and with the soul, okay? So just things like that. And two, sex is also considered a taboo. All right, so sex will just be a very taboo thing when it comes to society and religious constructs. It's getting a little more free now, but I'm really just trying to make the point of saying that sex is spirituality, okay? Now, like I said, this don't mean pop it open, bust it open for any and everybody that you see. You have discernment. You be very discerning with your energy because you understand the type of person you are and the type of energy that you have, okay? So that is what I'm saying, okay? So I wanted to read the definition of a taboo, and then after I do that, I want to read some excerpts here from this book that I really think is really, really, really important, and he really made some valid points in this book, and also talk briefly about sex magic, okay? So I looked up the definition of a taboo, right? And it says a social or religious custom prohibiting or forbidding discussion of a practice or forbidding association with a particular person, place, or thing. The second definition, which is in, of form of an adjective, prohibited or restricted by a social custom. Okay, and really taboos, if you think about it, if you study anthropology and sociology, taboos are really relative to whatever custom or whatever religious custom, or basically whatever religious custom that you subscribe to, okay, or whatever social custom that you subscribe to. Okay, so for example, there are things here that are permitted in America that is not permitted in Afghanistan in regards to women, in regards to how men should conduct themselves and things like that. Those are customs. So the things that we do here that seem natural to us may be considered taboo to the people in Afghanistan or to Middle Eastern countries. Okay, so that's really that. Now, a lot of people, like I said, even when you come into spirituality, people have the conception of bringing Judeo-Christian, their mindset, like their religious mindset, into spirituality, okay, and that's not what you're supposed to do. Okay, like I said, with the left-hand path, the job is to, the objective is to really delve into things, okay, delve into the things that may be taboo for experimental purposes only, but you don't become slave to those things. So you don't become slaves to drugs, you don't become slaves to sex, you don't become a slave to primal urges, okay, you master them, okay, that's the difference, is self-mastery. We're talking about self-mastery here only. All sex magic is manifestation through the orgasm. All right, it's nothing fancy, yes, you can have breathing exercises and all that shit, yeah, that's fine, but at the end of the day, it's just manifestation via the orgasm. It's just when you have an orgasm, okay, or even when you have sex, like Bobby Hemmett said this himself, like, you tend to really do things. You ever had sex and then you said something or did some shit, and then after sex you'll be like, dang, like, I'm really nasty, I ain't really know I did shit like that. It's because when you're having sex and when you're orgasming, you're eliminating the ego, okay, so you're operating strictly on the soul level. So you shake, you move, you say shit that you don't mean, you're doing all this freaky dicky shit that surprises you when you're done having sex, okay. This is the ego completely annihilating itself, okay. And as a female, I can say that the female orgasm is more and more powerful because we orgasm internally, males orgasm externally. So the primary purpose of sex magic is to reunite, to put an end to division. Much of this idea is based on the belief that we merge again into one during orgasm. We lose consciousness of self and other, much like the original Adam. Thus, sex magic is love under the direction of will. Unlike conventional sex, one of the requirements of sex magic is the creation of conflict between the will of the operator and the desire for the union. The minds of the participants are focused on the purpose of the operation, and the body is compelled to follow. Okay? At just the right moment, the will is dropped and a passion beyond description ensues, which demolishes temporarily the egos of the participants. They are, once again, like the original Adam and Eve. Okay? Before, this is, like I said, this is allegorical. The story of Adam and Eve is allegorical. Okay, before they took a bite out of the apple. Okay, they were in kind of like a godlike state. They were one with nature. There was no separation. They didn't mind being naked. Okay, this is symbolically talking about that mentality. Okay, like I said, it's not literal. It's allegorical. It's about shedding the ego so that you may manifest. You and your partner may manifest at will. Now, to do this, okay, you have to understand where sexual energy is traveling through both the man and the woman. Okay, males, one form of sex magic, well, really how this works in unison is when a male is about to orgasm, it's best that before he orgasms, he takes that explosive energy before he ejaculates, and he kind of shoots it up to his pineal gland. So he shoots it up to his spine, to his pineal gland, okay, where it opens. Now the woman does the opposite. Women, we're naturally receivers. So when you're about to, orgasm, with your mate, in order to make the ritual effective, you have to kind of release and push out your orgasm, okay? So it's like circling. So while the man is penetrating the woman, okay, when he's about to orgasm, he shoots it up. Okay, he shoots all that energy up his incorporates it with his kundalini. He shoots it up the spine through his pineal gland. Okay, and then in turn, the woman, she channels that energy down from a crown chakra and she pushes it out. So it's like a continuous, you know, circle of energy. That is how you manifest. That is how you manifest via with the partner. Okay, if you're trying to do sex magic, y'all have an objective, have a goal, whatever's right. Okay, bada boom, bada bang. Now, if you're doing it solo, I'm not a man, so I can't really tell you how men should do it solo if you're masturbating. But with women, if you are about to orgasm, okay, right before your orgasm, you would take that energy that you feel right here in your sacral chakra, really in your root, okay, y'all know what I'm talking about, and then you would shoot it up your spine, okay, through your pineal gland, and bam, manifestation. Now, in order to really do this, you have to really get comfortable of you orgasm. You have to really get familiar how to control your orgasm. This is why masturbation is really important, not only for, you know, it's fun, it feels good, but to really kind of master your orgasm, because the female orgasm is so intense and it's so powerful that it really feels like you're about to explode. Okay, so it's really good. Masturbation is really good for if you're really trying to manipulate your orgasm. Okay, it takes a lot of practice, but once you get it, you get it. Like I said, I do this a lot. I figure out, you know, what it feels like when I'm about to orgasm. I've kind of did it so much that now I know how to shoot it up when it needs to go up. Okay, and I know how to direct my will to whatever I'm thinking about, so it may manifest in my outside reality. Okay, so that's kind of Sex Magic 101. Is plenty other ways that this also manifests. Okay, I was reading that Chaos Magic book that I was telling y'all about. Once again, that Libra Null book, I really love that book. It's some, now sex magic can be used for dark, sinister purposes, but like I said, that's up to the discretion of the individual. Okay, we're not talking about morality here. Whatever that person or y'all decide to use it for is completely up to y'all. But it's one ritual in the Libra Null book that talk about it was some crazy shit too. It was talking about how you can, might read it, I wish I would have brought the book with me, but how if an older man, like an old man, like on the cusp of dying, if he wants to reincarnate, right, he would impregnate a younger woman, I'm assuming consensually, and his will, he would kind of channel his energy into that woman, and when he ejaculates the woman gets pregnant, and then the man after that shortly dies. The old man shortly dies, and after the old man shortly dies, because he ejaculated his seed into the woman, or aka his soul into the woman, he can now have a new vessel via that same woman. Okay, it was some crazy, I'm like, damn. But the author in the Libra Null book, the Chaos Magic book, he wouldn't go into too much detail about it. That's how sinister it was. It was called like the Black Rite, something like the Black Rite of Patches or something. So really, sex magic is very, very powerful, to the point where you can really shoot you can shoot your soul and get reincarnated and get a new body. That's how powerful this shit is. I'm so mad that I cannot read an excerpt from that book, but maybe I'll do a part 2 on this subject. But I really thought that was crazy, and I really thought that was really, really interesting. So here it is. So godliness, most of us have been taught, is next to cleanliness. And although many religions teach that God is everywhere, he seems to be conspicuously absent below the belt. It is certainly taboo to think of God meandering about in urine and fecal matter. But the disassociation of religion from sex on the basis that the penis and vagina have dual functions as channels for the elimination of body waste and the creation of life can be a plausible explanation. Thus, it might be said that modern religion couldn't regard sex or the sexual organs as a worthy religion house on 2 points. 1, because of the imagery of the reproductive system, and 2, the association with God being pure. Okay? For a moment, contemplate the number of men and women around the world shouting out various names of gods at an instant during their orgasm. Okay, so like I said, when you're having sex and you climax and you orgasm, you know, people say, oh my God, like, you know, this is what he's talking about. Like, people mention God's name when they're about to come, you know, and I'm sure you did it, I've done it, so let's keep it real here. So this is what what the author's really trying to incorporate and explain when he's talking about sex and religion, okay? It's really not separate. It's really all in one and the same if you really pay attention to it. You have to really get out the mindset that, you know, that the penis and the vagina are dirty, okay? There are, like I said, there are functions that are not only made for procreation, but it is made for pleasure as well, okay? Like I said, this is why you have a sacral chakra. Like I said, the sacral chakra deals with the pleasures of the flesh. This is also why you have Taurus and Scorpio. Both of these are very sexual houses, okay? So sex is a spiritual concept. Even when you look at, like I said, ancient Kemet, okay? The goddesses, even when you look at Oshun, look at Oshun, Yemayan, and even the goddesses in ancient Kemet, they had some type of sex appeal to them. You know, they wasn't ugly, but they understood sex. And even then, when you look on the temples in India, okay, they're having sex, okay? They doing the backyard boogie, all right? So I don't want y'all to get I really just want to clear up the misconceptions of the separation between sex and magic. So understand when this happens, I also got this from this book too. When this happens where, you know, you start to call out God's name and do all these, you know, this freaky shit during sex that you never knew that you were capable of doing, that's because the orgasm for both the male and the female is the elimination of the ego. So you're a completely different person when you're having sex compared to when you finish having sex. This is why, you know, when you're done having sex, you be like, dang, he really did this, or dang, she really did this, or dang, I really said this during sex, I didn't even mean it, it was just the heat of the moment. Or, you know, you're giving to the soul, the ego. When you're orgasming, it's just like an explosion, and you just are open to the gateway of ecstasy. And really, that orgasm, that climax, is really like a little gateway into the spirit realm, okay? And in the spirit realm, you cannot have ego. It's just operation on the soul. It's just soul-based operation, okay? So you really have to understand that next time you having sex, when you say the shit that, don't be ashamed, you know, obviously don't be ashamed of the shit that you say when you have sex. But just understand what's going on. Like I say, your ego's being shedded, like your ego's being annihilated and simulated by a sexual experience. That's why sex is so powerful. So I'm saying on the spiritual path, like I said, sex is okay. Okay, sex is okay, but have discernment when you have sex, okay? Sex is a way to access spirit realm. Sex is a way to manifest. Sex is a way to just even channel information from different deities and things like that, okay? So always be discerning with your sexual energy. Why? Because if you haven't mastered your energy enough, and if you're a god and you're having sex with a mortal, that mortal can bring you back down to, you know, to a human state. You know what I'm saying? Now, you can transmute that energy. You can transmute that person's energy, which I've done before. Especially, I've used other people's energies during sex rituals. You know, they had no idea, but I did it anyway, okay? But you can actually transmute their energy to work for you, not against you, okay? Just why sometimes, I don't know, I met a lot of men who had sex with women, and, you know, shit just started going left for them. Like, they had bad luck. They caught flat on their tire. Just had a really shitty week because it was something about that woman's energy that kind of brought him down to a very lower vibration. This can happen to women too, okay? And it can happen even more to women, because women, we are naturally the receivers, okay? We are the negative electron in, when you're talking about an atom, okay? The negative, and doesn't mean good or bad, but the negative in a electron just represents feminine energy, okay? So this can go for the same thing as women, even 10 times greater, because we receive the man's penis, okay? We're receivers, so we receive energy, all right? So like I said, if you're gonna have sex with somebody, and it's somebody that you know that's not on a really higher vibration, make sure you're on your shit. Make sure you can really access your really the energy with yourself, your aura, to know how to clear that shit, to transmute it somewhere else, okay? And a lot of people, this is like really more advanced shit, a lot of people aren't really certain how to do that, okay? So until you know how to do that, I'll say just, like I said, be discerning of who you give yourself to. That's all I'm saying. Even when you're a religious pastor or deacon or somebody, you know, who is of stature in your religious community, what they do is they tell you to suppress your urges. Okay, so it's a lot of deacons and a lot of people that are not married, and they're not supposed to have sex, which is unrealistic because them niggas are probably masturbating when they get home. Okay, so not only does this shut down your sacral chakra and fucks up your whole chakra imbalance, because the sacral chakra deals with sex and sexuality, okay, but the suppression of that shit, it comes out in different ways. So this is why the fucking Catholic Church, if y'all been keeping up with the stories about the Pope and everything, well, they're dealing once again with molestation of little boys. Okay, everybody knows that Catholic Church and priests, they are really known for fondling little kids, pedophilia. Okay, why? It's because their religion is teaching them that sex with a woman is evil, sex is this, you shouldn't have sex until this, you're a deacon now, you should be above sex, that's not you, ignore your primal urges. Okay, so naturally when you do that, that shit has to come out somewhere, and so how it comes out is through pedophilia, through basically touching little boys. Okay, is what I'm saying, touching little boys and girls. Okay, so we can see that the suppression of sex kind of distorts the energy of where that sexual energy should go. Okay, so instead of it going to a woman in the Catholic Church, or even in Baptist churches too, because I'm not saying that's just restricted to the Catholic Church, you have it going, you know, somewhere else where it's really undesirable. Okay, another type of sex magic that you can do, sex is really powerful. Like I said, it's a lot you can do. You can determine really what type of child that you want. Okay, you can determine based on sex, if the moon phase is right, if the time is right. You can really choose the type of gender that you want, the type of sign that you want for sex magic, or you can even give birth to what they call a crystal seed, or an advanced soul, or a star seed. That is also manifested through sex magic. Okay, like I said, both the man and the woman have to be aligned in some way. Everything has to be right. You know, you might check the planetary positions. It might be a full moon, it might be a new moon. You know what I'm saying? It depends on what exactly that you want, and you have to really find the energies that are conducive to produce the type of child that you want to do, or that you want to have rather. Okay, so even then too, a lot of people are really, when you're talking about sex and sex magic, a lot of people shame sex workers, like prostitutes, strippers, and, you know, just whores. Okay, but in reality, there is a deity called, you know, the sacred whore, and the sacred whore was really she was really worshipped. Okay, ancient times, you know, it used to be a house full of women, and men would come to those women and they would get healed through sex. Okay, so a lot of society really shuns strippers and prostitutes, but they're actually doing, you know, divine work. Okay, despite, you know, what social norms may say, because it's symbolism. The pole represents the kundalini spine, or the kundalini energy of the man, and you got the woman going around the pole stimulating that kundalini energy, and it's just a very powerful energy. Men feel compelled and feel hypnotized by this energy, thus they give money. Thus this is why some niggas be falling in love, or, you know, some niggas be obsessive. I read one article where this lady, she had received you know, all of one of her clients' inheritance after he died. Okay, and this man was married, had kids and everything, but he gave pretty much majority of what he had to a stripper, a sex worker. Why? Because feminine energy, that sexual energy that women invoke, or sex workers invoke in men, is some really, really powerful shit. Okay, and like I said, I really feel like when men shun that, I think personally they're exposing their weakness, because everybody knows, you know, women are very powerful. We're very sexy, we're very attractive. It's things that women can do that men just can't do. Okay, so honestly, with slut shaming and, you know, stripper shaming, it's just really just exposing male weakness. Okay, like I said, it's not an attack on men. I'm not no feminist. I'm just keeping it real, period. That's really all I wanted to say. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. If y'all got some questions, let me know what you think about this topic. Let me know what you think about the relations between sex and religion. Also, like I said, I'm still doing readings, tarot card readings, consultations. I'm doing consultations now, and I'm still doing natal chart readings, so make sure y'all hit my email if y'all are interested in that. With that being said, I love y'all. Bye.